few years ago, Tom Brokaw revealed he was suffering from multiple myeloma, which helped shine a spotlight on this often fatal cancer. Olga has the story of another man with a famous name who continues to beat the odds.
These hills are hard. Fighting cancer is harder.
He's a cancer survivor, a man who, with the help of his loving wife and medical professionals, is living a life beyond what some doctors and statistics predicted. His name, James Bond. Yes, like the iconic Hollywood character. And the type of cancer, multiple myeloma. Today, we're meeting the people who've helped him beat the odds. His wife, Kathleen Bond, and Fatima Scipione, the Senior Director for Patient Advocacy at Takeda Oncology, based in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Kathleen, I want to start with you. I know your husband couldn't make it. How is he?
He is doing great.
He is?
He's actually home training on his bike because he's about to participate in a 4-day, 328-mile bike ride, 4 days across Ohio.
328 miles.
He needs to put some time on the bike, so that's what he's doing. He's a firm believer in exercise, and I really think that has helped him get through all his years of treatment.
And when was he diagnosed?
He was diagnosed in 1992, and the prognosis was 2 to 3 years if everything went well.
And at that moment, what did you think?
Well, at that moment, we couldn't imagine we were hearing what we were hearing, but we made up our minds right then and there that we were going to take this on and do the best we could. And I know people talk about a bucket list. We thought, no, we're going to live our lives. Through, beyond, and despite it all.
Fatima, let me bring you in quickly. Multiple myeloma, tell me what that is.
Certainly. So multiple myeloma is a rare cancer. It accounts for about 1% of all cancers. It is a blood cancer that affects the white blood cells. And it presents, the symptoms that it presents is bone pain, a lot of bone pain, anemia, which is presents as fatigue, and certainly is a challenge to diagnose based on some of the symptoms.
And Kathleen, I know your husband's been through a lot. I think he's been through 4 bone marrow transplants?
Yes, he's been through a lot of treatments. He's had 2 bone marrow transplants using his own cells, one using his sister Becky, and another one using a young German woman that just occurred 4 years ago, thanks to Be the Match for finding the match.
But you two did not give up. You're an inspiration, and I know for you it was important to become his caregiver.
Well, I realized when he was diagnosed with this incurable blood cancer that I was going to do everything I could to learn about it so that I could be helping to ask the right questions and making sure that Jim presented himself as the best, healthiest patient the doctor could have. So we really took this on as a project, not to say that it was easy. A caregiver needs support. We had support of family and friends, and you need to allow yourself those days when it's just a bad day and let yourself have at it and go ahead and cry. But Jim and I tried to not have a bad day on the same day, and that helps.
That's important.
That helps. We would argue about who got to have the bad day.
And there's no doubt, Fatima, that she has played such a huge role in her husband's remission and getting better, and for the love of God,
Absolutely.
Even doing a huge bike race. But so has Takeda Oncology. You guys go above and beyond the call of duty here, too.
Well, thank you. And we certainly have been committed to the multiple myeloma community for 20 plus years and have been in clinical research in multiple myeloma for all of that time. We met Kathleen and Jim through a clinical trial.
Oh.
Jim was part of one of the early trials. And you mentioned his name, James Bond, being an iconic character. And this is the truth. Jim was the 7th patient in that trial, so he was patient
Bond
007.
It's true.
It is very, very true. But we are very much committed to clinical research in multiple myeloma. We recently brought another product forward with an FDA approval late last year for patients with multiple myeloma.
And sometimes pharmaceutical companies just don't get enough credit for the patient advocacy that they do.
Well, thank you. Certainly at Takeda Oncology, the patients are at the center of everything that we do. We're reminded of this on a daily basis when we walk into our lobby in Cambridge, Massachusetts. We have a cranes display, and we also have our inspiration, our vision, if you will, and there's a big sign that says we aspire to cure cancer. In order for us to be better, in order for us to bring better treatments forward, then we need to have our patients be our partners. We have many programs. We have a patient leadership council that infuses the patient into our business practices from early on in clinical research to ensure that as we look at clinical trial design, we're talking to the patients who ultimately will hopefully be the recipients of this medicine. What's important to them? What matters in their lives as they look at a diagnosis like multiple myeloma? And that carries through all of our business activities. Frankly, there's not a day that doesn't go by that the Patient Advocacy Group does not speak to the patients that we serve. We're very connected, and frankly, it inspires us to come to work every day and to work harder.
And Kathleen, how long has your husband been in remission?
Well, he's been in remission for 6 years now.
Oh, that's awesome.
But it's been 24 years he's been struggling through this, and he just keeps on putting one foot in front of the other and pedaling his way.
And speaking of pedaling, I hear there is this huge race. I want details that you are organizing and proceeds going to find a cure?
Yes, well, it's going to the American Cancer Society, their patient service program. Many programs, and I founded this really because it gave me an avenue to help other people that were fighting cancer and to help their caregivers as well, because we're all in this together and we all need support. So I figured I need to do something about it, and I wanted to get mad and get even, and this bike ride helps me do that.
So many things that you are doing that are so positive that for maybe someone out there, they look at you and you say, how have you done it?
Well, you have to take care of yourself first. And I decided early on that was going to be key for me. But we also established our 8 p.m. rule.
8 p.m. rule.
8 p.m. rule. Cancer takes enough out of your life, we decided not to give it the entire evening. So at 8 o'clock at night, it's done in our house. No matter what's going on, we don't talk about it. It doesn't exist. We'll get after it the next morning.
Fatima, for our viewers out there who'd like more information, where can they go?
Yes, we have a website for more information, TakedaOncology.com.
TakedaOncology.com. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. You can also go to our website, and that's thebalancingAct.com.